This is the investigation.
Dave Turner is a retired National Forest Service employee. He's also a preeminent historian when it comes to the 1949 Mann Gulch fire. He's even written a book about the event called The 13th Fire.
The Mann Gulch fire was the 13th of 57 fires that the men on the Helena National Forest would tackle that summer.
On August 5th, Meriwether Station Guard Jim Harrison, who had left the smoke jumping profession just a year earlier at the request of his mother, discovered the lightning-sparked fire. The early estimate of the fire size was 5 to 8 acres. Because it was burning in rough terrain, the Forest Service requested 25 smoke jumpers from Missoula.
Many were college students who were doing this work for their summer.
Because of other fires, the smoke jumpers base was able to send 16. One backed out after getting sick on the flight. The crew included Supervisor Wagner Wag Dodge, a nearly 10-year smoke-jumping veteran. Dodge assessed the fire as too aggressive to attack head-on. He instructed the crew to go down the river and begin building a fire line. When Dodge came upon a ridge, Turner says he was likely shocked at what he saw.
He sees that the fire has kicked firebrands off the fire on the ridge, and they've landed in the bottom of the gulch where there's a lot of grass, a lot of brush, and that's on fire.
The fire was directly below. Dodge ordered the crew to head back uphill to a ridgetop, but the scree slopes they had to cross were treacherous.
Rocks in there are the size of Volkswagens down to bricks, and there's no trails whatsoever.
No longer in a line, Dodge asked Bill Hellman, his second in command, to order the crew to drop their heavy equipment in hopes of moving quicker against the rapidly advancing flames. Then, Dodge did something unconventional.
And without a word to anyone, he leans down and with a book of paper matches starts tossing matches into the grass.
He lit what is, by many accounts, considered the first escape fire in firefighting history.
He unsuccessfully encouraged others to join him in the escape fire.
The guys who are nearest to him think, this guy's nuts.
We don't know if they simply didn't hear, they didn't understand what he was doing because that wasn't part of their training at that point in time.
It was a technique employed by Native Americans years earlier. Two men, Bob Selly and Walt Rumsey, were able to stay ahead of the fire and scramble to safety. Bill Hellman also made it to the ridge, but got caught from behind by the fire.
And while he's burned over 80% of his body, he still managed to struggle another 200 yards down that slope and rescue Gulch before he collapses.
Hellman and another badly burned firefighter, Joe Sylvia, would eventually be carried to safety.
The rest of the guys are caught in a matter of seconds.
Later that fall, investigators estimated the fire burned through that grass at 600 to 700 feet per minute, with flames as high as 30 feet. A fire of that magnitude typically consumes the oxygen in front of it.
And so as it would come up on these guys, all of a sudden, they'd have no breath.
Despite optimism, Hellman and Sylvia would later die at St. John's Hospital in Helena. The fire burned until August 10th. Turner says a search for the other 11 firefighters commenced August 6th.
It isn't until Sunday, the 7th, that they recover the last body, which was so badly burned, the only thing that was left were the large leg bones.
Lessons learned from the Mann Gulch fire helped shape the firefighting strategies of today. And even though it happened 75 years ago, it serves as a reminder to never forget the 13 who died. In Great Falls, Tim McGonigal, MTN News.